Every year, millions of people line up, online and in-store, to buy the latest iPhone. But what if I told you that $999 isn't the real price you're paying? Behind the shiny screen, the fast processor, and the perfect camera lies a complex story of human labor, environmental damage, and psychological manipulation. This is the true cost of the iPhone. 1. The human cost, factory labor and worker exploitation. Let's start where the iPhone is born, factories across China, like those run by Foxconn. Workers here often earn less than $2 an hour, clocking in 12 to 14-hour shifts under tight surveillance. In 2010, a wave of suicides shook the Foxconn facility, prompting Apple to install suicide nets, yes, nets, to prevent workers from jumping off buildings. That's not innovation. That's exploitation. Even today, labor rights groups continue to report unsafe conditions, illegal overtime, and immense pressure. Employees live in cramped dormitories, eat in canteens that serve thousands, and are constantly pushed to meet unrealistic quotas. So, when you're holding that sleek device, remember, someone else may have suffered to make it. And it's not just China. Factories in India, Vietnam, and other parts of Asia are entering the same cycle. Low-cost labor is the fuel of global tech, and companies chase the cheapest rates, regardless of the human toll. And while profits soar, the workers who assemble our devices rarely escape poverty. The wealth gap widens, not just between nations, but within the walls of those factories. 2. The environmental cost, rare earth mining and pollution. Each iPhone contains over 60 elements, from lithium to cobalt, from gold to neodymium. These materials are mined across the globe, often in politically unstable regions, using child labor and unsafe practices. Take cobalt, for example. Over 70% of it comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo, where children as young as 7 dig in toxic pits. And once mined, the refining and manufacturing processes dump pollutants into rivers, soil, and air. Mountains are leveled, forests are cleared, and water sources are poisoned, all so we can check Instagram faster. It's not just about emissions, it's about irreversible damage to ecosystems and human health. And then comes transportation. Raw materials shipped across oceans, parts assembled in multiple countries, and devices air-freighted worldwide. Each step leaves a carbon footprint so deep, it's almost invisible because we don't see it. So the real price of an iPhone isn't just money, it's the planet itself. And while the Earth groans under the weight of our consumption, the urgency to upgrade drowns out the urgency to protect. 3. The psychological cost, desire, pressure, and planned obsolescence. Apple is a master of desire. Their marketing makes each new iPhone feel like a must-have, even when last year's model still works fine. But here's the twist. Your phone is designed to feel outdated. From subtle software slowdowns on older models to non-removable batteries with limited cycles, planned obsolescence is real. Apple's genius isn't just in tech, it's in psychology. They've built a culture where upgrading feels like an identity refresh. And let's not forget the emotional side, social pressure, status, FOMO. People go into debt just to get that shiny new rectangle every September. There's a constant cycle of dissatisfaction baked in. You're not just buying a phone, you're buying validation, belonging, even self-worth. And in that process, our self-esteem becomes linked not to who we are, but to what we own. The iPhone becomes a mirror, reflecting not just our image, but our insecurities. So ask yourself, are you upgrading because you need to, or because Apple told you to? 4. The waste cost, e-waste, and the recycling myth. When your iPhone dies, where does it go? If you're lucky, it gets recycled. But here's the truth. Only about 15 to 20% of e-waste is properly recycled globally. The rest ends up in dumps, often in poorer countries, where it's burned or broken down in unsafe conditions. Toxic fumes, contaminated soil, and poisoned water. This is the aftermath of our tech obsession. And yet, Apple still limits third-party repair and makes it harder to reuse parts. They say it's about safety, but really it's about control. Because when you can't fix it, you're forced to buy again. There's a growing movement for the right to repair, but it faces resistance from giants like Apple, who thrive on locked ecosystems. Repairing your own phone shouldn't be revolutionary, but in today's tech economy, it is. It's ironic, some of the most advanced technology on Earth is treated as disposable. Not because it fails, but because we're told to move on. 5. The privacy cost, data collection, and digital surveillance. Your iPhone may feel personal, but it's also a gateway into your private life. From your location and health data to your photos, purchases, and messages, it's all collected. Apple claims to prioritize privacy, and compared to others, they do. But let's be real. Siri still listens, apps still track, and data still flows through systems you don't control. Even anonymized data can be reverse engineered. Tech companies say you're in control, but try opting out of every tracker and see how far you get. You pay Apple with money, yes, but also with trust, access, and digital fingerprints. And the price of lost privacy? That's not something you can refund. Once your data is out there, it doesn't come back. It's bought, sold, stored, and analyzed, often without your full consent. Your digital life becomes currency in an invisible economy. 6. Can ethical iPhones exist? A look at the alternatives. The good news? It doesn't have to be this way. There are companies exploring fair trade materials, modular phones, and reparable tech. Fairphone, for instance, makes devices designed for longevity and ethics, not hype. They're not perfect, but they prove that change is possible. Consumers are waking up, demanding transparency, right to repair, and sustainable practices. Even Apple, under pressure, is making slow changes, more recycled materials, fewer accessories, and carbon-neutral pledges. But is it enough? Or just good PR? True change requires more than press releases. It demands accountability and action. It requires us as consumers to ask hard questions, not just by shiny things. And it requires tech giants to shift their model from endless upgrades to meaningful sustainability, from control to cooperation, from secrecy to honesty. Because ethical technology isn't just about innovation, it's about intention. It's about redefining progress, not as what's new, but as what's right. The iPhone isn't just a phone. It's a symbol of design brilliance and global inequality, of innovation and manipulation, of progress and consequence. So the next time you unlock your iPhone, ask yourself, is it worth it? Or more importantly, who's really paying the price?